Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And we'll take a look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the deck being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel more like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Eight of Staves. So this is actually Sagittarius energy, which for you guys is your 12th house. So normally this card, especially with those birds, I usually think of communication when it comes to this card. But given that for you guys Sagittarius energy is your 12th house, and some of the other energies I'm seeing here, I feel like for a lot of you this is saying you wanted to communicate to this person, but you might have been holding back, so you might have had a lot of thoughts in your head, but you might not have necessarily actually been coming forward and communicating them to this person. And of course, I do have to say that would just be for some of you. For others of you, this could just be saying that you might have been putting forth a lot of effort as far as communication goes with the connection. Alright, and past energy on their side, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here. And it could just be saying for some of you, it could go either way, where, maybe for some reason you might have found yourselves a little intimidated by them for whatever reason, so maybe that's why you might have held back from communicating. For others of you, it could just be saying that they might have been a bit detached with you, so, you might have felt like you were communicating a lot, but not really getting anywhere with this person. So that's what I'm seeing there, so either way you look at it, I feel like you might have just, had some intimidation around communicating with this person, or maybe felt like they were controlling in some way. Alright, and present energy on your side, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy here. And it could just be saying that this is someone you've been friends with. So, maybe you've just been a little reluctant to actually express your feelings for them. Because if we look at the body language there, obviously his back is turned to the cards on this side. So it could just be saying that that could be part of the issue for you guys, where, you might have had these feelings growing for this person, and maybe you've just been holding back for whatever reason as far as actually expressing those feelings. Alright. Present energy on their side, we have the Sun, and we have the Seven of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. Now, Seven of Swords can point to deception sometimes, but in this deck in particular, it points more to a disconnect between two people, and actually having to have a little patience to put the work toward the connection. So I feel like that's more of what this is saying, just given the general spread here, which is to say that, with the Sun, it could just be saying that there is that potential, but maybe there's a disconnect between the two of you. So, for example, if you were expressing yourselves in the past and now you're not, right? And this person might be open to it now, as opposed to, obviously this looks like a much more light and playful energy than the Knight of Swords. So it could just be saying now that they're open to it, for whatever reason you're detached and you're not really putting any emotion toward the connection. Or it could just be saying for others of you either way, like I said, if you guys, weren't really communicating at all, and now all of a sudden, they might be like, well, what's the deal with Capricorn? I'm interested, but, so it definitely seems like there's a disconnect. This could just be as simple as the fact that we have the Mercury retrograde energy in June, obviously, so maybe that's what's really at play there, but that's why I see. Alright, future energy on your side, we have the Two of Cups, which is Cancer energy, and we have Strength in reverse. So, interesting mixture with these two energies, because again, seeing this and then with the Strength in reverse, I feel like it's almost a repeat theme, which is to say it could just represent you guys continuing to have these feelings for this person, but not necessarily having the strength to actually come forward and let them know that you have those feelings. So it could just be a continuation of that. For others of you, you could actually still come through with it though, but what always stands out to me with this deck in particular, most Two of Cups energies always look very bright and vibrant, right? And here we see There's like the lightning in the background, and clearly it looks like there was a storm going on. One of the cups is knocked over, so definitely to me points to, even if you guys actually do get the courage to come through and let them know how you're feeling, it looks like it might have been a long time coming. And, that could be why it looks like it was a bumpy start for you guys to actually get off get the connection off the ground. And interestingly enough, too, that's the first 10 degrees of Cancer. So could just be saying that toward the end of June, when we officially get into Cancer season, that could be when this conversation might actually take place. Future energy on their side, we have the Nine of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy. Queen of Chalices, which is Cancer energy, your opposite sign. The Wheel, so that's the Wheel of Fortune, which actually just moved into your sign of communication, your house of communication, rather. So could be some significance there. We have Temperance, which again is the Sagittarius energy, and Four of Cups, which is Cancer energy. So it's interesting here. So for some of you, if this is just saying the whole way around, you guys have just been really closed off when it actually comes to communicating and letting this person know how you feel. It could just be saying that they're actually, in the future, they're going to put in that effort to actually get you to let them know what's on your mind. That Nine of Wands energy looks like someone trying to get the other person to speak up, right? The Queen of Chalices energy could represent being more open toward the situation. The Wheel, obviously movement there, some luck. Temperance, they might even ask you if you want to go out for drinks, for example, to help restore the balance and figure out what's going on, what's in your mind. And then with the Four of Cups, for some of you could just be saying that, they might put in that effort, but with you with the Strength in reverse, they might feel like it's not getting anywhere, so they might start to feel a bit dejected after a while, like, okay, I don't know if Capricorn's interested or not. It seems like I'm putting in this effort and they're not really coming forward. I do have to point out that every time I see this card in this deck in particular, those two people, their facial expressions, just the way they're kind of, looks like they're looking over their shoulders, it always gives me a bit of a shady vibe too. So you might have to watch out for there being some like outside interference with the connection, but I'm not picking up on that as heavily here since there's so many other cards that point to it's more of them, actually putting in the effort and possibly just feeling like, okay, well, I can't seem to get Capricorn to open up. So that could be how it's more likely playing out in this particular scenario. All right, and bottom of the deck on your side, we have the King of Staves. So this is actually Leo energy, and what sticks out to me here is someone else got this card this month too, and I was mentioning the same thing, but what stands out to me is when we think of Leo season, at least in the northern hemisphere, we think of the middle of summer more or less. And here we see it looks like all those trees, they don't even have any leaves on them. So usually when I see this makes me think of the fact that kind of what I was feeling with the main spread, which is to say you guys might have just been holding on to these feelings for a really long time, not necessarily expressing to this person that that's how you felt, And interestingly enough, beneath that, we also have the 10 of Staves. So yeah, definitely looks like there's a lot of holding back on your part for the majority of you. And on their side, we have the Five of Chalices. So this is actually the equivalent of the Five of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. And could just represent that disappointment that we usually see in traditional tarot. There's the three spilled cups that the person's focusing on, and then there's the two cups standing behind them, but they're not really paying them any attention. And here in particular, it looks like an energy of someone giving an apology to. So for some of you, it might actually be where you guys were connected in the past, and maybe you felt like this person was neglecting the connection, so you might have detached, and now they might be coming back in, really trying to fix the situation. And for some of you, maybe that's why we see the Strength in reverse. It's like, part of you might be trying to resist it with that King of Cups. When they come back around, you really could feel that pull to want to get back into the connection with this person. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you, And if that's the case, it could just be as simple as, like I said, if you guys were putting in a lot of effort in the past and they weren't, it's not necessarily that they were like at another connection, I don't feel, for most of you. It's just more of they might realize, oh, okay, maybe they were taking you for granted, for example. Like, oh, Capricorn was putting in all this work. Now all of a sudden they stop. Now I'm trying to put in the effort, right? So it could just be one of those things. And if this isn't the regular dynamic the two of you have with each other, it could just be as simple as pointing out the fact that this could be the energies at play due to the Mercury retrograde in Gemini that we'll have in June. So it could be as simple as that. All right, we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, to see if we get anything from Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording. What I'm looking for here is just some jumpers. We'll look for unspoken messages from you to them and then from them to you. If I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next deck, but occasionally we get extra messages here. Okay, nothing there, so we'll see if we get any from them to you now. Okay, got one there. And let's see. Okay, it says absence. All right, there we go. Absence, it says, as more time passes by, I feel a deeper void without you in my life. So yeah, okay, seeing this does make that a little bit more likely, where like I said, whether this person just left the connection altogether, or maybe like I said, you guys might have actually been putting in the energy. So for some of you, like I said, it could have just been that you guys had, all these thoughts in your head and you weren't communicating them. But with this, it makes it more likely that you guys were putting in the effort in the past and they weren't really reciprocating. And now that you've detached with that King of Cups energy, kind of turned your back to them, you could just be saying that now they're actually wanting to put that effort back in toward the connection. So hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck as well. Here we're just looking for one card with general advice and we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing's come up. So what I'll do is we'll put the deck down. Give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull a card. Okay. We have Truth to Be Told. There's the artwork, and the number is 14. Alright, let's see what it says. Okay, it says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The Oracle's message. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for a debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. So an interesting message there, and I will say that feels like it could be a bit of a split message as far as for those of you if you weren't the ones communicating in the past. Like I was saying, if you were holding back communication, could just be encouraging you in that regard. And for others of you, if this is more your energy that was on this side, then I could definitely see how that could relate to this person too, actually having to come forward with communication. The relationship message says people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based on your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So, pretty positive message there. I will say it looks like there's some momentum that's going to carry you guys toward actually having some communication in the future. And like I said, if nothing else, it does look like this person definitely will put in the effort. I will say it looks like if you guys still remain closed off to them, they might eventually feel like giving up. But for those of you who are open to it and just want to see them actually put in that effort, looks like it will be coming in the future. So hope whatever resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.